Acer Laptop will not power on. From Juan Perez. Thank you, Juan, for submitting this ticket. Acer Laptop will not power on. I have an Acer brand laptop there that is nearly brand new, and I had it for about 6 months, and it started to shut down randomly. It will power on fine, but after 4 minutes the fan will stop spinning and then it will shut down and not power back on. That's really bad. I put it on the charge and it shows charging fine, but now if I try to power it on while charging, it will not turn on at all. I have replaced the CPU fan and it still does not turn on. Well, it's not going to be your fan. I have replaced the hard drive and still will not work. I would like to know what else I can try to do the repair to repair the laptop since it's not under warranty. So let's kind of back up on what's going on here. It's an Acer laptop, right? It's an Acer laptop. It's nearly brand new. I had it for 6 months. It's really weird that it's still not under warranty after 6 months. You probably didn't buy the extended one. I thought it like you had it like a year at least. It will power on, but after about 4 minutes, the fan will stop spinning, and then it will shut down and do not power back on. So the fact that the fan is spinning, that means there's nothing wrong with the fan, and you changing it doesn't really help, right? The issue is with power, right? We already know that. I put it on the charge and it shows charging fine, but now if I try to power it on while on charging, it will not turn on at all. I have replaced the CPU fan. See, you're changing things that are not related to power at all. You've replaced the fan and still does not turn on. You've replaced the hard drive and it's still not working. So you're replacing things that are not related to power. Okay, so what can you do? First of all, if you can, I would try replacing the battery. Because a lot of laptops, especially newer ones, highly depend on you to run a battery. Now, you can take the battery out and then you can try to charge it, but and see if that works, see if it'll turn on without the battery. However, lots of laptops will not turn on because the battery is needed to create a closed circuit, meaning that battery itself is used as a conduit to run power to the rest of the laptop. Okay, so I have a feeling that the issue is with the battery itself, probably not able to hold charge, and it just collapses on itself whenever it tries to run, because if it's battery and if it's going bad and it collapses, meaning that it cannot hold a charge, the computer will shut down, and because it cannot hold a charge, you cannot charge it regardless whether it's being charged right now. But if you're putting it on the charger, right? You put it on the charger and it shows it's charging fine. So yeah, the charger is trying to charge it, but if it's not able to hold the charge, then doesn't matter. Typically, you would be able to power it on while charging, right? And it will not turn on at all. This basically kind of tells me that you are required to have a good battery that can hold charge, and that indeed the battery is required to create a closed circuit, meaning that it's required to run the power to the rest of the laptop. However, if it's entirely dependent on the battery to run the system, of course it's not going to turn on because the battery is not charged. So I would concentrate on the battery. Again, see if you can turn it on without the battery. I don't think it's going to work in this case, but I would concentrate on the battery. See if you can buy a replacement battery that you can return just in case it's not that, but I have a feeling it's the battery. Otherwise, there's some kind of physical issue. Maybe you dropped it or something and the motherboard is cracked. Especially where the connections are for where the power runs. Maybe it's cracked and then it's losing connection and it just kind of runs for a little bit and then it can't handle the current. I don't know. There might be some physical issue with it. I'm assuming you didn't drop it. I'm assuming you didn't drop it. There is no physical damage. In this case, I would try a different battery. Be careful when you disconnect those, because some of them use a cable directly. Depends. I don't know what kind of laptop it is, but except that it's a Acer, But be careful whenever you take the battery out. Make sure you don't tear any wires. Make sure that the connectors are, because some of them you just slide in and it's connected, but some of them have a connector that's attached. So whenever you remove that white connector, make sure you pull it out correctly. Hello, this is Irvin with PC support. I don't know why it's doing this. I swear I'm holding shift. I think my right shift is not working properly on my keyboard. So it's not letting me do a capital C. This is Irvin with PC support. I have your ticket about Acer Laptop. The issue is most likely related with the battery. Try to take the battery out and then connect to the charger. Try to power on. It may not work like that. However, I think that the battery is having trouble holding charge, which is most likely cause of the issue. And you know, I could talk about, I'm gonna please let me know. I could talk about other things that could be causing this exact same issue. And that would be your computer overheats and then it shuts down to protect itself. This is a brand new laptop and it worked fine before, right? So it's highly unlikely that that's the case. So if you have a CPU with a heatsink attached to it, if the heatsink is not attached properly, there's no connection to dissipate the heat, the computer will overheat and it would shut down just like this. It's very unlikely that that's the case here. You can check that, you know, and of course if it's like dirty and if it's overheating in some way, it could cause this. But you're saying it doesn't even power on whenever it's charging. I really think it's the battery. I really think it's the battery. Please let me know. I am really curious if that's the case.